America is very good at living in the myth of America. You can't train away bias. You can't train away bigotry. He knows that he can step on the line where freedom of speech is, and that the Supreme Court will not slap his hand away.
And those people haven't given Black people reparations. Right. That needs to be addressed.
We are living in literal serfdom. This is like a new medieval happening. This impacts everybody in the United States.
They cannot stand us to have anything.
And once they have established this as a precedent, they are going up the chain.
It has nothing to do with the American people. It is all about power.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, the host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations, and I'm the home of epic conversations. My apologies. It's been a little bit of a kerfuffle over the last few minutes, and you'll find out why momentarily, because that's a whole bunch of went on, but it's all good. I'm the co-host and co-producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that team, reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 dads and fathers in 2022 and 2021. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Before we go any further, let's do some housekeeping. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and also the notification button. It helps the reach of the platform, not only this epic conversation, but the other ones that I do. And also follow the Dr. Vibe show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also, too, if you want to advertise your business or service on the show, please touch base with me via email, dr.vibe@the.vibe.com. We're broadcasting live on September 2nd, and it's just a crazy day in a number of ways. We'll get to it, but first things first, you are watching State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. Jill won't be here tonight because she's got relatives. She's just had a crazy week. Plus, her foot is still fractured. For those who don't know, she has a fractured foot. That's one thing. She's got relatives, a whole bunch of things going on. Now, Aisha and LaLa said they could make it. I didn't expect LaLa to make it because she basically said she'd be out of commission till the end of September, basically. And she pops in our private Discord group, not the public one, our private one, and saying, I can make tonight. I go, all right, we can do a live conversation. Well, only LaLa is here, and we don't know what's going on with Aisha, and we're hoping, hopefully Aisha's okay. I sent her a text message a little before we went live. So I hope she's okay. I haven't heard a thing. So I don't know what's going on. Before we get LaLa to exhale, we want to make sure you subscribe. No, I already showed that. See, that's how kerfuffled I am today. There we go. Join the State of Things Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@the.vibe.com. And you'll get to the Discord group where it's never dull and we don't have any technical glitches. LaLa, how are you?
I am doing well. I miss it when I can't join you. So when I knew that I was going to be in a stable place today, I was like, I just can't. I've got to come on. So I'm so happy to be in Kentucky with family right now. And
nice.
Just really enjoying being around them. And nothing's better than that, right?
Hey, I hear you 100%. What's the t-shirt say today?
It says, "Thou shalt not try me," mood 24/7.
Oh, I love that. How long have you had that t-shirt?
I've had this one a while. I'm just getting back to some of my stuff in my closet.
Oh, wow. Well, okay. And I want to say a big shout out to you also because you're broadcasting this on Twitter and on your Facebook platform.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. You're like, and I'm always urging Aisha and Jill to do that because it'd be crazy. But hey, I just put it out there and things happen. Things happen. So one other thing, Jen Myers says,
Jen.
hello, everybody. Hello, hello. And also Laura's telling y'all, click the link. I promise it's easier than finding Waldo, fun resources, and my social media link. So there's her link tree link. There is her link tree link. So everybody,
everything is there.
It's all there. So it may be a little bit of a condensed show, but we're going to do it anyways. And as I told LaLa before live, I guess I'm going to have to chat a little bit more to give my takes about America and some of the things going on in America. But
get that kick in there.
So it's interesting. A number of interesting things went on before we get to our conversation. I guess this is the appetizer. I was driving through downtown Toronto earlier this week, which I don't do that often because traffic is a joke. And I'm driving along and I see this big lighted billboard saying, and a certain artist is playing Toronto on September 5th. So I'm going, man, if I would have known, I would have maybe spent the money to go see this artist. So I'm going to give some hints. Three-piece band from the 80s, one of the great three-piece pop bands from the 80s.
Oh.
When they first started off, had all blonde hair as part of their image. From England, a guitarist, a bass player, and a drummer.
You got me, Dr. Vibe.
Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to give you some of their not so popular songs. Tea in the Sahara. Walking in Your Footsteps.
I don't even remember this.
Walking in Your Footsteps. Walking in Footsteps. Also, and they broke up, and the bass player in this band had a huge solo career. Also had a big single as a solo artist with and he also toured with the band with Branford Marsalis.
Oh no, now my music card needs to be revoked. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Let's see. What other this should give it away. One of their albums was called, their first big album was called Regatta de Blanc.
Oh no, it's not coming to me.
Oh no.
No, not at all. Not at all. I am drawing a complete blank. I knew when you said you were going to tell me what the album was, I was like,
well, this was an album when he was with the group. He was the front man. He was the lead singer and the bass player of the band. Jen Myers, I know you. I have a thing you may know this. Come on.
Not Sting, is it?
Bingo.
How did you know that album?
I was gonna drop it. I was gonna say one of his most popular songs as a solo artist was "If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free." That he did with a band with he did with a band with Branford Marsalis, Kenny Kirkland on keyboards, and Omar Hakim on drums.
You know what threw me? Because I never knew they were all blonde.
Well, it was dyed blonde. I don't think they were natural blonde, but dyed blonde, I think. But I'm just thinking, who was the guitar player in that band? Hiram Bullock. Yes. I'd play the video. See, Jen Meyer says, "Oh my gosh, I stepped away." This happens, you step away, and
I'm in trouble, Jen. I didn't know immediately. I should have known that.
So she stepped away, and I said, "Yeah," but I said, "You know what? If I would have known ahead of time, that may have been a concert I may have paid the money to see."
You know, they used to fight like cats and dogs.
I know that, especially their last. I heard a documentary a while back. Was it the album Ghost in the Machine or one of the albums? They recorded it in Montserrat, and they basically were in a house and they stayed in separate rooms. They didn't they recorded
until they threw somebody off the drums. I'm like, they were rolling around on the stage.
Yeah, they were not on their end as they were winding down as a group. It was not a pleasant thing. But definitely one of the great pop bands of all
Yes.
time.
Oh yes, I have a lot
All
of them.
time. They
I did not know that album name. That one threw me.
Regatta Blanc. That was the first. That I think it has message in a bottle on it. Message in a bottle. Yep, that
And I
was. I
can
think
sing
that's
all the
Regatta de
songs.
Blanc.
I didn't know the album. Isn't that something? Yeah, you can tell I've been traveling a little too much. I've been traveling way too much. My brain is fried. I don't know what time
Oh,
zone I'm in. Time.
what? Okay, LaLa, what time is it right now?
It is actually 9 here. Thank goodness. I'm on normal time. Normally, you guys, I'm on 2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. All right. Okay. So as you see, it's myself and LaLa this evening. Again, Jill, we know would not be able to make it. We don't know what's going on with Aisha K. As I said, I texted her. I haven't even heard a text back, so I'm a little concerned because she had the thrust of the conversation topics for this evening.
She did.
And I'm going, So, family, bear with us. LaLa is good. I'm going to chime in whenever and however I can in regards to this, because I once in a while have something to think about what's going on. Our neighbors down south, as we like to say here. But so yes, so Jen, any interesting things happened with you since we last saw you? It's been a while.
I hope you're feeling better because I know you weren't feeling so good for a while there, Jen.
Yeah, we hope you're feeling better. For those again, and Jill still is, as I said early on, recovering from a fractured foot that she didn't know about.
I'm so glad you were like, you gotta go. Like all three of us were like, you gotta go. And she listened, she went.
Good.
And look
good.
what happened.
Oh, actually, I know one of the conversation topics tonight, we're going to talk about customer service. I'm going to move this forward a little bit. And
Sure.
Jen says, yes, she goes, well, I'm just going to highlight, but we'll get to it at the end. She is feeling better. Excellent. Let me just see here. This work is keeping me busy, but I love it. Well, then it isn't work.
That's right.
If you love it, it's not work.
That's
not work. I had the opportunity today, just a little bit north, about 15, 20 minutes north of where I live. I went to, how can I describe this? This was a huge indoor spa.
Ooh.
Now, here's the thing. Now, the building used to be a movie theater.
Oh, and that's gotta be big.
It is very big. And it's an indoor spa. And what they have, you go upstairs and all that, and then you go into the main section, or they have separate whirlpools for men and women, and you can adjust the temperature of the water.
Ooh, see, I love that.
Yes,
I like my water hot.
Yeah, adjust the temp, and then you go into the main section, and they have huge area of reclining chairs. You can just lay back, and it's purposely very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. Then they have separate sauna rooms of different temperatures.
Ooh. Oh, I would love to go to that.
And then the funny thing, then they have one room that is purposely 60, really, 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 really cold. It's a cold room, and you can go in and yeah, I'm gonna show you a picture. Yeah, yeah, I went to the place. I went into the ice room. People can give a skin deep breathe when entering an environment of extra low temperature from a high one, thoroughly removing dirt from the pores and keeping skin healthy. The cold temperature will get capillary shrunk and intensify skin elasticity, and enhance the immunity of organism. I should have took a picture of myself inside there, but it was really cool. And for the people that don't think that Dr. Vibe relaxes once in a while, let me prove you different.
I love it. I love it.
So I do relax every once in a while, but it was amazing. This place is huge. Like, think of at a movie theater, huge. And then they also have separate rooms where you can just lie, separate room where you can just lie down on a carpet and just quiet.
Whoa.
And they have
I love that.
Now they have another room which used to be one of the theaters inside this former theater, where it's a quiet room and it's dark, and there must be, I'd say, minimum 100 reclining chairs. You can lay back and you can go to sleep.
I love it. Now that's my thing. I love to be in quiet spaces, and I'm currently working on a room that is going to be my meditation quiet room, and I'm really looking forward to being finished. I have a lot of peaceful things in there, chimes and certain smells, because I'm definitely a Pisces. I'm very sensitive to my environment, and I have to have that peace.
Yeah, it was great. And so we all know that artificial intelligence robots are taking over.
Yes, they are.
I want to show people something. When we went to eat, this is this is what delivered you. Well, you do your orders through a tablet at your table, and so at the front you pay a standard charge, and then any extras, like if you want food, you have a wristband, and you just put in your wristband number, and it just charges. So when you're leaving, it goes all on your bill.
Wow, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really wild. Greetings, Ryan Knight, my co-host on the Morning Vibe. Hope all is fine
Ryan.
with you. There we go. Hope all is well. So I went to get something to eat, and this is the thing that brings drinks to you.
Oh my goodness. And it just rolls up to you like that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So it was an amazing concept. Like, I was just going in there and going, wow. It was just, and there's a separate room where you can work out. And the thing is, you cannot wear your outdoor shoes inside. When you're going into place, you have to take off your shoes and either wear slippers or go barefoot.
Yeah.
Or socks.
Yeah, you don't want to carry those germs. And people don't realize how many germs you carry into your home. We don't wear shoes in our home like that.
Yeah. So that was cool. And and it was quite the experience. They have a separate room where you can work out, and even though they provide the shoes for you. Like they have, and you can spray them and all that, and they have a pool table that you can use there too. It was and they also have a place upstairs where you can go get a massage. So you go up some stairs and you can go into a massage room.
Well, how long did you stay?
Most of the afternoon. Like I took most of the afternoon. I spent and the thing is, and you can stay overnight too.
No,
it's open 24/7.
Okay, now you're just trying to make me come up there to visit, aren't you?
Hey man, I tell you. So the standard charge is $68. So that allows you to use the all the different saunas, etc. And then anything extra like food, you got to pay. If you want a massage, you got to pay, and you can stay there pretty much as long as you want.
Well, the sauna would be enough for me. I would just sit there and hang out with that.
So imagine this, LaLa. There were at least 4 different hot sauna rooms at different temperatures. And they show the temperatures outside of the sauna.
So you can choose.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
Actually, you know what? After we finish, I'll send you the link of the place.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was. And we talked to one of the young ladies that works there. She said they opened up just before the pandemic. They've only been open 3 or 4 years. And the nice thing too, okay, and it is
the pandemic.
I don't know. I didn't get into how much if they were open during the pandemic. I did, but they opened up before the pandemic. It is, or how can I say, Chinese or Japanese owned, because the majority of the staff was, but the diversity of the people there were all over, which was nice. There was diversity of people attending all over all different cultures were attending.
Well, the fact that they made it at least through the pandemic, like, so many businesses that started right before the pandemic failed. And so it's really nice to see and hear that they made it through the pandemic.
Yeah, and she said they're going to be opening up another location in the western part of the Greater Toronto area in the near future. But this place, and I you know, I'm going to go back there again. I'm going to do a video of it, but I was just thinking business. So I go, wow, this is amazing, and open 24/7. We asked her, you know, does some people do their work here? Yeah, we have people that come in during a work day. They spend their work day here because just it's so quiet, relaxing, and they can take a break. They can go for a sauna. They can go a hot tub, etc., etc.
Wow, that sounds lovely.
Yeah,
Absolutely lovely.
it was a great, and I don't know of any concept like that, at least in Toronto for sure. I don't know if in Canada, but I'll tell you something. It was, they gutted a movie theater and they created this.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of movie theaters here now that are empty, so that's a great concept.
I'm telling you. So you know what? We got other people coming in here. I do not know this gentleman's name, but he says, hello, Jen. So Jen, thank you for being people. So, and this, Abdul, I'm going to keep it Abdul because I don't want to butcher the rest of your name. So I'm going to say Abdul, thanks for thumbs up. Pamela Vincent, thanks up. Wendy
That's
Harris.
my cousin.
Now, Wendy Harris, if I'm not mistaken, I think Wendy Harris is related to Wayne Harris, who's on Financial First Fridays every first Friday of each month on the morning time.
I went to school with Wendy. She's my friend from Kentucky.
Okay, the wrong Wendy Harris. Sorry, sorry. I renege that comment. All right, I renege it. But you see, thank you, LaLa, for having people just putting it on Facebook. People are out there. Is that old song? Is there anybody out there? Yes, there are. There are. So, but that experience was amazing. Like, I mean,
man, it sounds lovely.
Like, I went with somebody else, and between the facilities and we had something to eat, was $200, and we stayed there 6-7 hours.
Oh wow.
And most of the time, all I was doing was lying back and relaxing and just taking, went into the cold room for about 15-20 minutes. But it was really nice experience, something totally different.
I'll have to remember that because sometimes Will and I come up that way because we like to perform up there.
And she says, I have to catch up on Discord later. Oh, you have to go, Jen? No problem. You have to. Okay. So right. So let's get to some let's get to some...
Y'all need to be in the Discord.
Yes. Thank you, Jen, for the promo. I appreciate that very much. All right, let's get to some conversation topics. Since we were last on, 45 was arrested in Georgia on racketeering and conspiracy charges, then released on a $200,000 bond after having a historic mugshot taken, and he has had a meltdown. Well, this is Aisha said he had a meltdown on 31 videos since. So I haven't seen that part of it. Jen, what do you think about that?
Well, I can tell you what I think about it. I had some gourmet popcorn ready. And what is crazy is there was a clip of a whole club or a whole bar that was completely full, and it was huge. And everybody was there just for that event, waiting for the mugshot to be released. And when they released the mugshot, the whole place just erupted in clapping and cheering. The American people are sick. A lot of people are sick of this. And I think finally of course, you're going to have his diehard people, but there are some people who are now turning away from him and really starting to say, this is just not good for America. This is just, there's too much evidence going toward him. I've been seeing more reports of that. Of course, you're still going to have the ones that are the kooky people because, it's a cult. Trump is a cult thing. But when I tell you, when that mugshot, it was mad defiance. That's the way I explain it. He's angry, but he knows he's also guilty. I know he's guilty. That's my personal opinion. He knows he's guilty, and he thinks that he's going to get away with it. So the audacity that Fani has him in there taking a mugshot and fingerprints has him so angry, he just looks like he's about ready to explode, right? And so we as a nation need to continue to keep the pressure on. The diehard GOP people are talking about, Camel Toe was talking about she wants to see Fani removed from office because this is a farce. You cannot fool around with this kind of stuff. And if these people keep talking the way that they are, they're all going to be thrown out, because this is a democracy. This is a democracy, and the people have spoken. Now, Fani is not the one. There was there's other people who voted to do this. This is not like she just said this is what she was going to do and it was only her. This process was done correctly, the way the judicial system is supposed to be run. So how are you going to try to say that anything shady was done when it was done correctly and it was the people who said, all right, we need to proceed with this? I have so many things about this to say. And his meltdown, of course, is nothing new, because anytime anyone bucks him, anytime anyone blinks in a different way than he thinks, you are now the enemy. So what does this sound like to you? He's very clear that he wants to be a dictator. If you don't agree with him, then you are the problem. And it's always been that way. Since when has he ever said he was a good man? Except I was surprised at how he kind of flipped a little bit with Rudy, because he ended up paying a little bit of Rudy's legal stuff. But in the long run, Trump knows he's in trouble. And a lot of people around them are now scrambling. And the fact that people are now starting to come out and say things against him who were really diehard people, who know things from behind the scenes, he's going to find that all these people will turn around and now point the finger at him and call him the traitor.
It's really interesting to see how this is going down, and the Republican Party wanting to get rid of that judge at all costs. So that I don't think they'd be doing that if they didn't think that judge it's not the judge. Is it the prosecutor? The prosecutor.
But they're also calling for the judge's head. You see what I'm saying? But they're not calling for the judge's head down in Florida, because she is falling right into their path. But
Right.
Like I said, the minute someone calls him to task on something that he needs to be called on the carpet for, they're the enemy and everybody wants them gone.
So LaLa, let me ask, you have come back to the United States from being away from the United States. You were in Portugal. Were you involved in any conversations about what's going on with 45, and if you were, what were people's take on it?
Overseas, people are really watching us. And I have a partner, because I've partnered with a real estate agent over there. We had a very long conversation, because he was confused on why there's so much hatred for people of color. He really did not understand that concept. He was like, I don't, why does that matter? And he's a smart man. He's worked with people from all over the world. Portugal, Americans are not the only ones just moving to Portugal. He has connections in Sweden and other countries as well. And America is sick. It was built on sickness. It was built on thievery, and it doesn't have a good foundation. Whereas Portugal also was included in the slave trade, they acknowledge and embrace that history by changing it. They will talk to you about what they did and how it was wrong and what they did to correct it. Now, you got to remember, they are fairly new to this new world. For a long time, they were under one rule, dictatorship. And so a lot of them still think a little bit backwards in that, but they still don't understand why America, which is supposed to be so great, has so many problems. So as I was explaining things to him, I thought I would try to be very fair, and I did. Because I don't like to sway people. I want people to make their own decisions. So
Right.
when I spoke to him about things that happened under Obama, things that happened under Trump, things that, and I explained to him that no leader is 100% right, period. I don't agree with one leader all the time on every single thing. But his take when he looked at me, which I just wanted to just cry, he looked at me and he said, "This is not good. And this Trump is not good for your country." And he said that with so much heart that it touched me, because he's generally concerned about us, and most of the world is.
Interesting. People send me a lot of stuff I delete, but I'm not gonna say what this says, but someone sent me this, and I know, LaLa, you would love it, and I know if Aisha and Jill were here, they would love it. So I'm gonna just show it.
Yeah. What does that say? Made you look? Is that the one that said made you look?
No.
I can't see the bottom. I can't see the bottom.
Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, I guess just a resolute. Oh, there we go.
Since he won't say it, y'all, it says Mega. My ass got arrested.
So I just said, oh my gosh, people sending me this stuff. So I thought all of you would enjoy that.
There's another one that I love that said it has a red hat and it says something like that, and underneath it said "Made you look, Black Lives Matter." Love it. I absolutely love it.
So do you think? Jen goes, I haven't seen that one before. No, I hadn't either.
I love it. I gotta have the shirt.
Oh no, oh gosh. Do you think that the Georgia thing's gonna happen?
I do, because there's too many things against him in this. There is going to be something that sticks. And don't forget, Jack also is still watching this. And Jack has many things that he also can tag on to this, which he already has, because Trump has already just been too vocal about things and he can't shut up. But I really do think that if something is going to stick, it's going to be something out of Georgia, and Jack will also be able to, that at least is born from something that came out of Georgia. If it doesn't get all the way there, Jack's got something for him. It's very interesting now, because a lot of the GOP wanted to do all this. Well, we want to do Hunter Biden. Everything they do is deflection. It's never something that is like, the sun is green. No, it's blue. It's blue. We said it's blue. Everything is a deflection of what we're supposed to be looking at toward them. So if you've noticed now, since Hunter Biden and all that stuff is happening, now the Democrats are calling for the same thing for Jared Kushner. So this family, one of them's going to flip. You understand? Because see, there is no honor among thieves. So when it comes to protecting your own, somebody's going to flip. Watch me. Mark my words. Somebody's going to do it.
Okay. Let me ask then, do you think out of all these indictments, will there be a trial on any of these indictments before the election next year, in your opinion?
They're really pushing for it, and I think March was the date they said they wanted to proceed. And of course, with him being such a flippant, trying to do it after the election and then on Hitler's birthday, the judge has she's not playing. She told him she wasn't playing. So the fact that they've already done this from March, I think they may end up pushing it back a little bit. But I do feel, and I hope that I'm not wrong on this, but I do feel that it's going to happen before the election. I don't think Trump's going to get that far on this election. People are tired.
Uh, I'll see it when I believe it. Regina says, I was waiting for them to go after Jared. Finally, so they're going after Jared now?
They're going after Jared. They said, okay, fine. He was actually in office. So it's time for us to really start looking at what he's done in the White House and how he has benefited from the White House, which is going to be very interesting to watch, because if you've noticed, Ivanka has kind of, what's her name? Is that her name? Because I forget her name. I call her Little Miss Princess. I call her Little Miss Princess all the time. If you have noticed, y'all, they have stepped back away from the media and away from everything.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I have heard nothing from that couple. Nothing.
Nothing. Because they're probably doing a very strategic thing, because they knew that they were going to come after them. They're not safe. And another thing that most people don't talk about, which is very interesting to me, is Trump's bond. If you ask me, it was way too low. $200,000 for all those indictments. That's not a lot of money. But for someone who's supposed to be so freaking rich, why did he use a bond company? He used a bond company to pay their bond to get out. No. So where is this? And another thing nobody is talking about on this is Trump signed over Mar-a-Lago to his son and tried to hide it under an LLC. That's illegal.
Okay. It is?
You can't do that. No. They're going to find
Wow.
it. And I can guarantee you, if it was done in a shady way. So therefore, they're probably going to come after him for that as well.
Wow.
He just won't stop. He thinks he's above the law.
Yeah. So Regina says, also the likely connection between 45 stolen documents and the $3 billion deal with the Saudis.
Exactly.
And Jen says, I've noticed that too. Haven't seen Ivanka. And Jen also says, that is shady.
If you've noticed,
LLC.
Now Tiffany, that rejected the black sheep of the Trump, is starting to be seen more. She wants to gain favor with Daddy. She always has. So you're not seeing so much of Ivanka, but you're starting to see a little bit more of Tiffany.
Wow.
Yep. And there is a rumor, which I do not doubt, is that Trump really wants Barron to now start speaking up and step into the political limelight. But Melania does not want him to, and they are fighting over that. I totally see that. She's trying to protect him from all this political stuff, but I'm not so sure that he's going to be able to not step into the power if he wants favor of Daddy. Because I think he's of age now. I think he's 18. So he thinks
I don't know. I don't keep track of that family, so you would know more than me.
He's getting pretty close. If not already 18, he's getting there, and Trump wants him right by his side. So
generational.
And if that man is 215 pounds, I got a bridge to sell you. His chin may be about 215 pounds. Coming up with that. In his dreams, he's 215 pounds.
Oh my goodness, LaLa, you're carrying the weight well for the other two posse tonight. I just say that you're doing a fine job. Fine job. All right.
Regina said he's 17. Mm-hmm.
He's 17. LaLa, 215, my butt.
Mm-hmm. And I should know. Barron, I was 285 at one time.
All right. Barron is 17. Okay. There you go. All right. Anyone else? And actually, too, if you're watching live, tell us where you're chiming in from. We'd like to know. As you can see, LaLa is holding court tonight with Jill not being here. And we want to know what's going on with the Aisha K. Staggers. We don't know what's going on with the Aisha K. Staggers.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
So that's a little bit strange. So before we go any further, as we said before, Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And also, you can promote your business or show on the Dr. Vibe Show or any of the platforms I host and produce. Just email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And most importantly, join the Discord group.
Lots of stuff goes on in there because we
Lots
can talk about everything.
Yeah, because they're not, I don't know if they're going to ban you guys. They ain't going to ban you. Well, you never know, but it's much more free flowing. dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com to join the Discord group. What do we got going on here? We got other things going on, other comments. Let's see what's going on here. Who's got something to say this evening? Okay, first of all, how many folks in the Discord group? I'd say about 15 right now. Now, but they're not everyone just communicates on a regular basis. But okay, and Jen says, Dr. Vibe, yeah, I haven't heard back. Thank you, Jen. I'm getting a little concerned now because Jen and I have reached out to Aisha. We don't know what's going on. And Jen loves Discord. If you think she's active here, she's at a whole other level on Discord. Like Discord has been made for Jen Myers. I'm telling you. Absolutely. So let's continue.
Quickly becoming one of my favorite platforms because I don't do Twitter much anymore. I still do I'll share there, but to be honest, I just don't go on there at all anymore. I think this will be the first post in weeks.
Okay, and Jen says, yes, that she loves her Discord. Yes, she loves her Discord. Yeah, I like Discord. It's, for most of us, easy to use. I know that Jill Jones still has to get a class from me in regards on how to use it, but I like it's very easy to use, user-friendly, and you can form so many different rooms.
Yeah,
As they call it, servers. You can have different channels. Unlike Instagram, unlike Twitter, where you'd have to do different aliases, you can have one alias, but you can create different servers on Discord, and that's a beautiful thing because I myself host 5 different rooms on Discord, and the nice thing too is when a message pops up, you get notified.
Yeah, I love that.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing. All right. Before we get on the next conversation topic, who's got a yes? Jen, I think you need to buy shares in Discord. I know that. I'm just making a suggestion. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So let's move on here. So next conversation. Mitch McConnell's health issues. Yes, family. Mitch McConnell's been around for a long time in U.S. Is it House of Representatives or Senate? I'm not know which one, but man, he's had some health challenges, and he's from the state of LaLa. So I'm gonna let
is talking about that here, y'all. I feel the man is seeing the Grim Reaper. I swear I do. He goes off into this time zone. He just stares at you. He would this second time that he's been caught doing this, he literally was quiet and staring into the twilight zone for 30 seconds. It has now started being a problem for the people in the GOP. They are actually calling for him to step down. Now, there are some people who are trying to protect him and say that once, because he had a concussion. Here's what happened. So let me give you a little history. A few weeks ago, he had a concussion from a fall. All right.
Yes.
It was kept quiet. No one really knew that he fell and had a concussion. He kept it quiet. That's how powerful this man is. I want y'all to understand that Mitch is extremely powerful. Okay.
Very.
And he's playing this game for a very, very long time. When I was a little girl, and I'm 53 now, when I was a little girl, I knew his name because he served here first before he decided to go on the national level. Mitch was not like he was now, what he was then. Okay. He did gain a lot of people's trust. Now, He had this fall, he had a seizure, and now he's recovering from that. Guys, he's just not okay anymore. He shakes, he cannot speak, he is confused, he has to be told what's going on around him. This time, he literally had his aide walk up to him and say, Senator, Senator, Senator. And then she turned around and said, y'all have to give us a few minutes. And he still would not snap out of it, and they had to leave him out of the room. This is not okay. And to be fair, I will tell you, I have always told you guys, I don't care what side of the carpet you're on. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, I'm going to call you out because my country is more important to me than a party. So this man needs to step down. He can no longer serve, and neither can Feinstein. Okay, she needs to go.
I was going to ask about her too.
And they are actually calling for her as well. Anytime you have to have someone explain to you or snap you out of something, and Feinstein is no different. Her aide actually had to tell her how to vote on the floor. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. So both of these people need to step down, and thank you for your service. Whether I like you or not, thank you for your service. Time to sit down. You can't serve the people. You are no longer serving the people. You are serving yourself. Now, here's what's messed up, y'all. We as the people have no say in this until it's election time. If they run again, that's when we say something with our votes. But until then, we can't do a thing. And this is wrong. And I am a firm believer, and y'all have heard me say this many times, in term limits, not just for the president, but for our House and our Senate and our judicial system. I believe firmly in term limits. No career politicians ever.
Okay, let's catch up on comments. Jen is on fire as usual, saying, Lord, this man needs to retire. Regina says, I suspect Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Jen says Caesars, he needs to put his health first. Regina says the GOP hid Reagan's Alzheimer's his entire second term.
Yes.
Jen agrees with you. 2 times here saying this is, and also saying LaLa 100. Because I was going to ask you.
I am really, I'm so sorry. I just, the state of our country is beyond in danger. This is way beyond danger, Will Robertson danger. We are about to fall. And for those of you in the Discord, and if you're not in there, you need to get in there. There is something extremely important that I want you to watch, because there have been studies about other countries that need to be put on the United States warning list. Okay, we watch other countries because we need to know what's going on. They need to be on the watch list. But because we are America, we're not allowed to monitor our people the way that we are allowed to monitor other countries. Well, there is this wonderful lady who was hired by the CIA to do studies about other countries and why they get into civil wars. Okay. She's a private citizen, so therefore she researched our own country, and her findings are absolutely on target. We are in a civil war. We know that, but the things behind it, you really need to research for yourself. So if you're not in our Discord channel, you need to go and watch that TED Talk. We are in danger, danger, danger. And the world sees that. So when they see that we look weak, that's when they're going to attack. But the reason we look weak is because people want to stay in power because they feel threatened. It's not because of us who are rising up to fight. It is because of the people who feel like they are being put to the side, and they no longer will have their power.
There we go. Saying term limits and an amendment that deals with elected officials being incapacitated.
Yes. Wow. Now we have things in place when someone passes, but we truly need to have something in place when people can no longer think or serve the people. Listen, Feisty is like 92 years old. She's done wonderful things. What makes her think that it's not time to step down? It's time to go. Same for Mitch. But you see, he already had things in place that he wanted to do. He didn't count on his health failing him. I'm in Kentucky right now. You guys really should see the commercials that are coming out for Cameron, who is running for governor, which that's what he wants them to do. Cameron is a freaking nightmare. He's the one who hid all the stuff about Breonna Taylor, that has acted like nothing that Breonna Taylor's case did was racially motivated. He is what most of us call an Uncle Tom, and I'm not ashamed to call him that. He is. He married into that family for a reason. Mitch picked him for a reason. If you've noticed, Mitch has surrounded himself by people of color or people of other. His wife is Asian. He wants to make the illusion that he is accepting of all. But you see, everyone that he has chosen feel they are already white, no matter what they look like. They feel they are above whatever culture that they're coming from. So if Cameron gets in here in Kentucky as governor, this state is in beyond danger as well. It's already in turmoil. It's already boiling over. But you definitely see a lot of the signs for Andy Bashir to be governor and things like that are going on. But Cameron's already come out with attack ads. Everything is attack. And we already know Mitch's history of how he continues to get into office. So I am very, very concerned about Cameron becoming governor.
Okay. Wow. Oh, well, we'll see. This term limits thing, like really and truly, but they're never gonna vote for that. So
no, because they'd be voting against themselves. But at this point, I just, and we already see how they're redrawing district lines and throwing out votes when they shouldn't be thrown out. I'm registered to vote in Florida. Okay, my vote will not count. I'm telling you, it just doesn't count the way that
voter suppression.
Yes. So, and another thing, I just came from Florida. You guys know, look, I wear these shirts and I wear them proudly. So I'm going to tell you about 95% of the people hated me for what I had on my shirt. And it was very, very clearly. Now, there was 5% that was like, right on, sister. All right. Hey, I love the shirt. But for the most part, I got the looks. I got the stares. And when I do get them, I boldly look at them and smile because I will not be quiet. This is my country too.
All right. Regina says, the problem with Kentucky, this is her opinion. The problem with Kentucky is because it is 87% white. That's what she's saying.
But that's not only it. She is right. She is right in a lot of ways with that. But the eastern side of Kentucky is very influenced with a lot of the distilleries and the manufacturing, and Mitch's wife is in with all of that. Okay, so without me accusing her without real proof, allegedly she has a lot of power over that, as well as going to the places like the Appalachian Mountains where most people, the poor people there, are registered Republican. Why? I do not know. I am still studying that fact because they get nothing from being and voting Republican. But that's where most of the votes for the Republican Party come from, the eastern side. You do have places like Louisville who are definitely blue, okay? But you are completely surrounded by the red because of what is promised, what is done for the manufacturing, what it's done for. We're going to help you. And they believe it every time. And it's historically been proven that way.
Okay. All right. And I thought we wouldn't take up a lot of time. We are taking up a lot of time, but it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. So family, that is, you know what? And you know what? This is what we think about the job that LaLa is doing tonight. This is, this, is this in agreement?
I love it.
All right. So she's holding her own real good. And I was going to do that regardless of which one of the group we're of any of the group. So we're changing some things up a little bit, adding some little flavor to the state of things, Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. So there we go. And Jen says, okay, LaLa rocks, Regina. Jen says, rocks. So you got supporters.
Yay. Thank you, sisters.
All right. And also Jen and Regina, you're helping the conversation too. So it's not just us here. It's all y'all and all the people that have liked it on Facebook. So thank you for liking the conversation on Facebook. This one I didn't know much about till just recently. The state of Texas takes over schools and removes libraries and librarians. What up with that?
I actually did a little bit of research on this. Now, definitely this is Aisha's forte.
Aisha, yes.
But I will say what I have learned is very frightening, but not surprising, because what Florida does, Texas also does. And what they're doing is they're removing anything that could possibly educate people. I'm sorry, they like their people dumb, because dumb people just will listen to whatever you say and don't research for themselves. Okay. Now, Florida is having issues with teachers and, of course, changing all curriculum. So therefore, I think Texas is doing the same thing. They actually have people going in the background, highfalutin people going in the background to each thing and trying to do their best to make public schools privatized. And that's what their ultimate goal is. So if you take away the resources from the people and you force them in a certain way, then they get what they want. Because who in the minority, might I ask you, would be able to afford privatized education? It's definitely not the poorer counties. So they're focusing on the poorer counties in order to get them under control. Or was that song you say, whip it good? You can whip it good.
That Devo, whip it good. Da, 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 da.
That's right. So that's what these states are doing. Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, all these southern states that were all against, you go back to Lincoln on that, are definitely trying to get back to controlling the major power over everything, including reading, writing, education, and fundamentals. So we have a problem, because when you have states that have control over their own curriculum and not federal, then it gets a little harder to fight, because now states are supposed to be autonomous from that. Like, even though the federal government can say certain things and step in at certain times, it's a long time coming. By then, they've done the damage. And the fact that these governors are doing this, you can't tell me they're not having secret meetings somewhere.
Well, it's interesting you mention that, because there is an update now to this story, because I'm going to put up on the screen here. It's going to come up in just a moment. Okay, so it may be too small for many of you to read, but I'll just read a little bit of it here. Judge blocks changes in teacher evaluations prompted by Texas takeover of Houston School District. A judge this past Thursday granted a request by a teachers union in Texas' largest school district to temporarily block a new system to evaluate educators that's being implemented following a state takeover. The order comes days after Houston School District began its first school year under a contentious takeover that replaced its superintendent and board of trustees. It also follows rare public comments on the takeover by Texas Education Commissioner Mike Morath since he announced it in March. One of the changes being put in place by new Superintendent Mike Miles is a new teacher evaluation system that will pay educators based largely on standardized test scores and classroom performance. In the lawsuit filed this past Wednesday in the state district court, the Houston Federation of Teachers alleges the new system was approved without input from the teachers and school committees, a violation of state law. The union says the new evaluation system will pit teachers against each other and not foster an environment of collaboration and improvement. So this
they want to implode it. That's exactly what they want. And if you recall, a few weeks ago we discussed how even a public school now is allowed to be religious, and with public schools we're not supposed to allow that. They have their own agenda. The whole the abortion thing, the everything, they're going down the whole list of everything that they want to undo. We are going back to the 50s very quickly.
So just reading further in this story, the state took over the school district in June with Morath citing chronically low academic scores at one high school and allegations of misconduct by the district's elected trustees as reasons for the action. As the new school year began Monday, many teachers, students, and parents expressed concern and anxiety over the changes being implemented by Miles. His most criticized change is transforming libraries at dozens of underperforming schools into team centers.
Yeah.
Where students will get extra help and where those who misbehave will be disciplined, watching lessons on Zoom rather than disrupting their classrooms.
Yeah, no, that's all. Sorry. It's they have an agenda. They're putting it into place, and there isn't anything that we can do about it until something that the federal government can step in on. And here's another thing. If you've noticed, DeSantis has rejected government money multiple times. And the reason he does this is so that he can separate himself, saying that we no longer need the federal government to take care of the state. Texas will probably be next. But what's going on with the hurricanes down in Florida, he's rejecting these funds. He doesn't want.
Yeah, I heard that.
And the people are Republicans as well as Democrats, because how dare you not get us the aid that we need? So this is a very interesting thing. There's a mini tornado happening. You have people who want to support, but yet when things get hot and their toes get stepped on, they will flip very quickly. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Texas manages this, because Florida's being very successful at what they're doing in their curriculum and school systems. So I am really worried that Texas is going to be successful as well.
Well, Jen says public school is so much better than private school. Really? I know this from experience. I can never understand why private or Catholic school is so coveted. Interesting. That brings up a very interesting conversation, because I'd love to get some people on to talk about charter schools versus public schools. That's a whole other conversation itself.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because interesting enough, if you look at the city of Chicago, there are so many school districts in Chicago where Black/melanated kids are not reading good at all, and they're publicly funded schools.
No, they
yes, that's interesting, Jen. I know, and I'm saying this respectfully. There would be some people who would push back on that comment you just made. There would be
good debate.
It would be a heck of a debate, I'll tell you that. Regina says, why Houston? Sigh. I'm a retired teacher who taught everything that is now being banned. I suspect they're trying to turn teachers against each other. Sickening. They are. There
are so many teachers that are getting out of the field. For one, we've never respected them pay-wise. They've always had such low pay, buying their own supplies for their classrooms and things of that nature. But now you're limiting them on teaching what they love. Okay, so why stay in the field? Because didn't we say earlier, if you're doing something that you love, it's not a job? Well, now you're taking that love away from them, because most teachers do it because they love it, not because of the pay.
Yeah. Got it. And then we go, Regina says, and Houston became more Democratic than Republican since 2017.
Isn't that something?
I'm telling you. All right, let's keep on moving. Don't stop. Who sung that song? Keep on moving. Remember that song?
Yes. Keep on.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if you know this. See if you can tell me, son. Okay, keep on going. Artist.
I don't know the artist, but I can't name them now. See, I'm not good tonight.
You know, and that's another thing too. We got to do. We still have to do our mute. There's so many things we have to do.
And
But
we
okay,
never
we
get-
got to get it. Okay, when Jill recovers, then we can start doing it on Dr. Tachi's network. Right? But you want me to tell you the artist?
Yes, because I can't remember, because she broke off and did her own thing.
Yeah, she was the lead singer on the song.
So.
Okay. Now, who was the lead singer from that
I don't
song?
know
What
her
was
name.
her name?
I
Okay,
forgot.
Karen Wheeler. Karen Wheeler with a C, not a K. Karen Wheeler.
And she did well.
Yes.
She has a beautiful belting voice.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Before we move on to our next conversation topic, let's see. Yes, Regina Ferris. Yes, soul to soul. Yes, there you go. Soul to soul. We got it. We got it going on. Let's move to our next conversation topic. This happened a few weeks ago, but we haven't really chatted about it. And I really wanted Jill to talk about this. Wagner mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, and I know if I got it wrong, it's my head, not my heart, who was killed in a probable assassination on board his Embraer private jet. Ooh.
That man was killed. I don't care what y'all say, that man was killed. That man was killed. You cannot tell me. Okay, all the propaganda. Okay, Putin does not like it when he's just like Trump. He does not like it when you test him. Okay, so he soothed it over, made it seem like he had forgiven him. Remember when he was like, "Oh, he's a good man. He just made a wrong decision, and he's really good," and blah blah blah. And then the man dies in a plane crash with his bodyguards and a couple other people. A couple weeks later, now you can't tell me that man ain't dead. And then he tried to turn around and say that
Putin
killed him. Said that because he was doing all that stuff. Oh God, I am not Ukraine. Lord,
Yes.
I'm not doing good with all this traveling. I don't know what day it is. He tried to say that the Ukraine people killed it. No. Putin got rid of that man, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, and it's interesting how that sort of was talked about very quickly, and it's out of the news real quick.
Real quick. Because why? Putin is really good about putting propaganda out and then keeping things quiet. So, I mean, let's not forget this man is evil. The man's been evil from the very beginning, but yeah, no, he did not like that he got checked like that. He also did not like the fact that this other man was, I can't never pronounce his name, Wagner. They say Wagner, and I always want to say Wagner.
Wagner.
Was very powerful in his own right and had his own followers. So he would not stand for that insurrection. No, sir. That Putin got rid of that man. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I don't give my opinions much. I think Putin definitely had something to do with that. Come on.
All day, 24/7.
Yeah, that we don't need to talk about too much on that one. I think that was they would say a no-brainer for a lot of people, or that was a layup. That was a layup. That was a layup.
And it was classic. I mean, it was by the playbook. You know what I mean? Everything about that was by the playbook. He was like, okay, I'm going to make it seem like I forgive them. Okay. Oh, you died in the plane crash.
How convenient.
How convenient. No, that ain't no conversation. That's nothing but the truth. We knew that. Open secret.
Yeah, because wasn't a few months ago he tried to get an insurrection against the Russian government. And I got your days are numbered, guy. Your days are numbered.
As that came out, I knew that man was dead.
Done. All right. That was a quickie because
Yeah,
Not
but
much to talk about that one.
to what also was announced, guys. Like, my man has pulled out a nuclear. He has pulled it out, y'all. Putin has pulled it out, and he is threatening to use it. If the world does not get involved now, it would be detrimental.
All right. We'll move on to our last conversation piece. The
Oh,
state
Lord.
of custom. Okay, the state of customer service. Talk to us.
I can tell you today. I mean, here's our issue. I don't understand why people don't want to work anymore. Here's a perfect example. A hubby, had to call in on something, one of his musical pieces. And this was a company that he used to be able to get on the phone like this 24/7 before the pandemic. And it was critical that he got this information in a timely manner. He's working on a project. And so now they have completely gone to a ticket system where you go to the website. Now you can no longer just call in and you tell them what's wrong, and they're supposed to assign it to someone, right? Well, the system continues to loop you back into, well, did you read our FAQs? Yeah. Well, did you look in the forums? Yeah. And then they send you a generic email and they try to give you an answer when that's not the same question that you asked. So that now has taken 24 to 48 hours to get an answer that you need. And when he finally got them on the phone, they said, we had no choice but to go to the system. We don't have enough people that want to work for us anymore. And so you have systems and AI and things coming in, answering emails for customer service when it's no longer human. And let's not forget, just going into a store, these kids huff and puff at you. I had to ask something at a store the other day, and this girl just pretty much said, I'll be back to help you, and never returned.
Ouch.
So we have a very serious issue with the quality of customer service. Now people see jobs as disposable. A lot of people now want to work from home, which I actually don't see anything wrong from working at home if you're going to be a good worker. Now I've always worked from home. I'm able to manage my time very well, but not everybody can do that. So those who need to go into the stores need to be retaught about how to help your clients and customers, because I am frustrated just as much as everyone else about how you can no longer get quality people. And when you do, you're so grateful that you definitely give them tips or you give them high marks because you're grateful to have someone to help you.
It's interesting you say that, and comment here from Regina saying the meltdown in customer service began to nosedive during the pandemic. Interesting. Going back to, it's customer service, I think is, and I can understand both sides of the coin. People feel like, I think it's a bigger thing. I think the whole area of respect
Yes.
is a whole thing on that too. I think just society doesn't, a lot of society now, manners and respect is out the window. So how do you expect customer service to be something so front line these days? Shameful. It's so hard to reach someone on the phone. We have trouble where I work getting all the employees we need. Well, yeah, and that's interesting. During the pandemic, a lot of people said, you know what? I don't want to do this, not for what they're paying me.
And you know how many people that I have had hang up on me calling for
Wow.
customer service? So okay, here's two issues. I'm going to split off on this. One, if they get frustrated with you or they don't want to help you at all, and they just doing their pick, and you're like, hello, hello. And this is after you have been on the phone for hours waiting for someone to answer you, and then all of a sudden you magically get disconnected. And two, the outsourcing of other countries that do not
Yeah.
communicate with us well is disastrous.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember a number of years ago, the I say, okay, interesting. Okay, Cinema Canal, I see something on Discord saying you're not able to write comments on today's YouTube show. Need advice lesson? Okay, no problem. Why can't you put comments on? That doesn't make sense. There's got to be something going on with your computer because other people are putting comments from YouTube. Fitness IQ, yes, you are late. No comments. You put yourself on blast on that one. I think that
But we're glad you're here now.
we're glad. Miss Red and White, we're glad. We're glad Miss Red and White is here. You know, I'll keep it quiet for now. I'll say it for another show. It's all good though. But yeah, I think the whole customer, and I think we certainly, the next time we have everyone together, we want to get Jill and Aisha's perspective on the whole area of customer service. Just a personal story. Oh, thank you. I had a late podcast. Okay, understood. You're very much in demand, so we understand that. Okay, hold on, Laura. Testing. YouTube comments. Yeah, they're good. So there's got to be something going on your end, Cinnamon Canella, unfortunately, but we'll see if we can figure it out. But that's why, again, use Discord. Ha 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 ha. So we find out. There you go.
Shameless plug. Come on.
Shameless plug. What was I talking about in regards to customer service? ... I don't remember. Because I talked about three things at once afterwards. Going to bring up my customer service.
We were talking about the outsourcing. And that
yes,
is
okay, yes. My web host provider, who I've had for many, many years, so 5 or 6 years ago, I called up their toll-free number, and it got routed to another country. And I said, okay, next time I called, got a North American representative. I said, you know what? I've had a little bit of a challenging time communicating with your representatives from a different country. And she goes, yeah, a lot of people are complaining about that. But nothing ever changed.
No, nothing ever changes. But and that's the thing. What drives me crazy about the outsourcing is if they don't really, they speak English, but they don't speak it the way we communicate. It's all script based. What drives me crazy is if I'll say, hey, I am not being able to get such and such to work, the ABC thing. So, okay, ma'am, so you cannot get this to work. Your ABC is not working. Okay, I just told you that. I need you to give me an answer. So I don't need you to parrot what I ask you. I need you to give me a solution. And I don't care where you're from, as long as we can communicate. That is a very big thing. Now, it's the same thing with language, guys. I mean, when I'm in Portugal, I'm trying to learn Portuguese because it's their country. It's a respect thing. You understand? And you need to be able to communicate.
I also think too, though, talking around where we live, just where we live and meeting with there's challenges with customer service too. So not to single out the overseas thing, but I just think even let alone home base, there's a challenge. So Fitness IQ goes, there you go, Laura. And then she also says, so wait, with customer service, yes. And then Fitness IQ goes, oh, I was about to mention tipping. And then she goes, LOL to your story. What were you going to talk about, Tiffany? Fitness IQ Cam. Does everyone, just out of curiosity, does everyone always tip at a restaurant?
I do. Even if it's really, really bad service, I know that they don't get a lot. They may just get the typical 15%. But I am very compassionate about that. A lot of the times these servers work their butt off.
Yeah.
And I always tip them something, but depending on your service, you may get well over 15%.
Okay. Jen Meyer says I always tip. Interesting. When what I like to do is if I'm in an establishment and I get good service, I not only tip, but what I will do so Fitness IQ goes 10 to 12%. That's her standard. Okay. Regina Around here, it's 22%. Whoa.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Was that in Texas?
Okay.
Oh, no.
So what I do is, if I get really good service, I not only tip the server, but I say, is your manager on duty? Yes. I say, can I have a word with your manager? And the manager will come over and I will praise that person in front of their manager.
Yes, that's a very good thing. And I do like that. Today when we went out, we went to a wonderful taco place, and our server was really, really helpful. I mean, like, we didn't really know the menu. And so therefore she did get a tip. And when her general manager walked past, because a lot of these restaurants now, the manager will come by and say, how was your service? Or, whatever, we were able to praise her at that time. But I like your idea of actually asking for the manager and letting them know. I will tell them as I'm leaving. A lot of times the managers are in the front, but that's a really great idea to have them come over in front of them.
Yeah, I do that. I do that. Like 8 or 9 times, I say, who is your manager? Yeah. Have them come over and I will praise that server in front of their manager.
And that's not only, that also gives them encouragement. And I think people miss encouragement.
Yeah.
Even with reviews, a lot of times people want to focus on the negative. And the more that we focus on the negative, more negative comes. So
yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. I really am. I mean, what you put out, you bring back in double. So if you are giving out light, more light comes back to you.
Okay, so Fitness IQ is talking about her 10 to 12%. She says, I know it's bad, but if it's really good, 15 to 20%. Regina is hailing from New York.
Regina, Lord, I don't know. Cause listen, like I said, I do tip over when it's good service, but if your base is 22, I'm already at like, okay, 22 is probably going to be it.
Fitness IQ says some places are going bold right to 20% for tipping. And it's interesting because the way they do it now is, especially for large parties, they say this, they give you an amount that your gratuity is this amount for a large party regardless. So,
and it's usually 18 where I am, like for a large party. For Florida, Kentucky, California is a little bit higher. They'll probably say 20%, but for those other states, I see usually 18% for large groups.
So we will continue this conversation because we have 1/3 of the triumvirate here talking about the customer service, but Laura got in first. So Laura going to talk about it first. And you know what, family, believe it or not, and we had a little filler at the beginning, we went around the same amount of time as a regular conversation. So believe it or not, even when we have onesies, we can make things happen. Onesies. Yes, I love that. Onesies. Let's go. Regina goes, I was a catering manager in the 1980s. I made $400 to $500 a party back then. I'm big on tipping.
Oh, wow. And that for the 80s is really amazing.
That's good money. Fitness IQ. I was working at a networking event that had 4 folks and automatically added the tip without being able to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Y'all want to know something else? Portugal, there's no tipping.
Oh.
No, they pay their people fairly. And so you do the tip.
Nice. All right. We are done. Another epic conversation. More comments coming. Hold on. Regina. So Regina says, okay, hold on. South Korea too. I think with the tip, there's no tipping. Regina says it put me through college and grad school. And Fitness IQ also says same thing in Japan, no tipping. And Jen says, what a great conversation. LaLa and Dr. Vibe, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And then Fitness IQ Cam, that's why I'm annoyed. LOL. I don't know what you're annoyed about. You give these comments, I don't know what they are. You got to give me some more. I got to give me some more context.
You don't have to.
There you go. So before we go any further, as always, we have to say, LaLa, thank you so much. But more importantly,
so glad
how can people get a hold of you?
Well, Threads, I'm going to have to tell you no longer because they will not fix my account. I cannot post. I can't see anything. My whole thing is like and they said I'm not blocked. They can't figure out why I can't post. But you can find me on Instagram. Not so much on Twitter anymore, guys, and Facebook under Realty Goddess. I cannot just get with that must dude. Can't do it.
Okay, so I'll adjust. It'll be adjusted the next time we're out, and in the credits at the end. So that'll get taken care of. Some more conversation pieces here. Okay, Regina says, "Thank you, Dr. Vibe and LaLa. My pleasure." Fitness IQ Ken goes, "I'm annoyed that I have to tip again after living there. After living in Japan." Yeah, okay. Fitness IQ Cam, thank you, LaLa and Dr. Vibe. Always put the ladies first, by the way. Don't put me first. The ladies first, all right? Especially Queen Latifah. With Queen Latifah, hip-hop thing. You got to put ladies first. Come on, put ladies first. Ladies first. Ooh, I love it. I love that song. So let's see if we can pop quiz LaLa again. Who was the co-singer? Who was
I'm not doing well tonight.
Who is the co-singer with Queen Latifah on the song Ladies First? What was the lady's name? And audience, you can chime in if you know who co-sung it. I know probably if you're going to want to go on, search it on the web, you can do that. But who is a co-singer
with Love?
You are right. Money Love.
Yes,
Ladies first.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard from her in a long time.
No, ladies first. You don't know, but you are. Well, there's a tour. See, and that's another thing I missed out just a few weeks ago in Toronto. Some of the groups that have played in Toronto recently, Jodeci.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't stand them, but okay.
Okay, there you go. LL Cool J had a tour. He was in Toronto.
I would go and see him.
I had no idea. Just people just that, but there've been a few artists that have come through and I said, you know what? I saw them in their prime, and plus the amount of money I'm going to need to see them now.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So you can watch a replay of State of Things with Aisha Jen LaLa at the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and Dr. Vibe Show, the website. We will, as always, tell you again, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button so people get notified. Follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Notice I didn't put X.
Right.
All right. Okay. Because as I said, I hardly go there anymore. The reason I go to X is to find out what other people are doing. I don't put my content out there. Like when these go live, people get notified. But other than that, no. And to advertise your business or service on the show, please email me dr@thedrvibeshow.com. And as we always say, join the Discord group, drvibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Say, just put in Discord. We'll make it happen. And Cinnamon Canella, I'm going to jump into the Discord group. And you also sent me an email, which is nice in real time to see what's going on, because there must be something going on your end that why that isn't happening. And Frequency Event Promotions, we're done. You're too late. Watch a rewind. And again, thank you to everyone who liked, and LaLa, thank you for sharing it on your Facebook, because a bunch of people, Ray Wilson, Bianca Blakely, Wendy Harris, Abdul Usman, Mary Furlong Coomer. I hope I got that right. Pamela Vinson, and then some, you know who liked this? Another person who liked this on Facebook. Some guy named Will Key.
Oh, you know, we have a song called Rewind.
There you go. We got it.
Good to see you.
Yes, and then Frequency says, rewind. Hi, LaLa. Just catch the replay, all right? Just make it easy. Catch the replay. All right. Close off as always. Oh, one other thing we have to, this is for everybody who watched this live or on the replay, or who's going to listen to the replay. This is what we're going to do for you. right, we are done. So live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. I got one last comment. We're going to put it on. Have a good weekend, everybody. You too. All right. God bless. Peace. Well, keep the faith and walk good. And we will see you next week. And well, just go on Discord. That's all. Really, just make it easy. Go on Discord later.
Mm-hmm.